Welcome back to part 6 of the Human Slop. I think it's part 6, at least. So, today we're gonna be talking about why most people feel lost in life and they don't even realize why. This time I actually prepared some bullet points. So it's not kind of a human slop, but well, we'll get through it. I'll try to manage to make it human slop anyway. But yeah, first point. Nobody knows what they're talking about. Adults, they're like pretending all the time. They don't know anything. Like, okay, sure, some of them might know, but most of them, your parents, your co-workers, who else? Your teachers, yada yada. The adults, especially at our age, they pretend like they know something, but they really don't most of the time. Your parents are half guessing all the time, and teachers are just repeating system, not truth. And then like everyone's just copying everyone else. Like how on social media there's like a new trend going on, and then just new baggy jeans, you go follow baggy jeans. New dances, you do the new dances. What's popping right now, you could do it. Like there's a Tong Tong Sahur, you say Tong Tong Sahur. 6 6 7, everyone starts saying 6 7 from younger, like from 8 to 80 years old. Everyone just copying each other, and then it's just nobody knows what they're actually doing, which is pretty sucks, but whatever. Like life is life. Second point I'd like to talk about is that school trains obedience, not direction. You learn how to follow instructions, obviously, and not how to choose a path in life. Choose a life path. We could say it like that. So when the freedom comes, which is after you leave school, you don't know what to do. You have learned how to follow instructions. You have learned how to be obedient. You have learned, well, just those kind of things, and then you have learned like there's some education, biology, history, math, those kind of stuff, language. Don't get me wrong, I like school because what they teach at elementary schools, like from elementary schools, they teach you great things about life. They teach you essential knowledge to get to know the earth. But like after that, what I don't like about school is that, or like what I don't like about people is that how they think about school. Because school is just for a little education. It's not key to life. It's not the only way to life. Because like these adults who pretend to know everything, they just seem to think that school is just the only way to success. If you don't go to school, you don't get to work, and then you die. That's how they think. But in reality, even if you don't go to school, you can get like some kind of jobs, Uber, McDonald's. It's fine. It's like it's just a normal jobs these days. That's the worst that could happen. The worst that could happen is that you just get a job like your parents. Sure, school might be better if you're like, don't want to do anything. If you cannot take control of your life by yourself, sure, why not? You can go to school. But if your dream job, if your goals require a degree, go for it. Why not? But if you are got no fucking clue what you're gonna do in life, I might as well leave school. Just like try new different things. The worst that will happen is that you just get a shitty job. That's all. It seems like shitty job seems to be like a fucking hellish thing for most people these days. Job is just a job. Everyone does job. Everyone works. You cannot get through life without working. So just work a little, save some money, and with your rest of the time, try to make something big. Like try to make business, or try to invest some money, or try to buy crypto, gamble. I don't know. Doesn't matter. But the worst that could happen is that you just get a shitty job, and that's all. Might be a horrible advice or not. I don't know if I said a disclaimer. Disclaimer is that I don't know anything about life. I dropped out of high school, and I'm not qualified to say anything. It's just my own opinions and thoughts that I'm sharing to the internet. Done. So, what are we at? Yeah, you don't know anything basically. So that's what happens after school. So don't stress on it, and don't depend on school too much. That's what I have to say. Because that lost feeling is just unused decision muscle that you had. Because like you never use your brain muscles, your brain, to make decisions for yourself. So start making decisions for yourself. You don't have to leave school for that. You can just make decisions for yourself. To start to work out, try to make this business at home when you're free time, or do a little better life habits rather than scrolling after you get home. You can try to make more decisions for yourself that benefit you, other than getting instructions from school only and parents and then do nothing about it. That's one of the ways that you could probably get out of that lost feeling a little better. Third point. Okay, let me scroll to the bullet points. Is that too many options equals paralysis. And what I mean by that is that when there's too many options, you get paralyzed. Because back then, for men, it was just used to be just be a hunter, farmer, what is it, and a soldier, right? So when like for men, it was like only like a few options, like three options, or like if you were like a king aristocrat, you could be like a king, the heir, yada yada boom. For a woman, is like gatherer, I don't know, housewoman, cooking. I don't know what woman did. Sorry for the girls who's watching, but like basically my point is that there was like few options and it was like not that hard to choose. But nowadays there's like 9,000 careers and 40 lifestyles. Like, dude, so many things to choose from. It's like when you go to a grocery shop, try to buy ketchup and there's like fucking 10 brands of ketchups. You're like, which one is better? Hold on. My PC fan is acting up. It's really a shitty old PC. It's like Optiplex 9010, whatever, office PC. But yeah, 9,000 career paths. There's too many things to choose from. So you're like stressed, you're paralyzed. Like, what do I choose? You don't know. I don't even know. So you're like just like confused. When you were at high school, I remember like you're like trying to choose your major. What are you gonna major in? You don't know what to fucking do. It's like there's so many options, and from the so many options, there seem to be so few choices. And plus, there's like your grade, your this, that, how much you obeyed. It's like that's why. And like when your brain cannot decide, it does nothing. My experience, it does nothing, and then you feel behind. You just feel like we were behind everyone else. Like there's your classmates making decisions, trying to choose degrees. It's like they have some, they have opportunities, or like they choose better than you, and then you just like have this millions options. You don't know what to choose, so your brain decides to do nothing. So just stay back, and your friend is here, and then it goes forward, and you feel like you're behind. When in reality, it's just like basically the same. Your life path is different than them. It's not like this. It's like this. Your life paths are different. It's not the same path. It's like this different. Even if you're identical twins, it's this. It's not straight same path. It's this. So that's why you got this kind of like paralysis, whatever. So fourth point, social media makes lost feel like a loser. What I'm trying to mean by that is like you're confused. It's okay, it's normal, right? But you see someone who's millionaire at 19 years old. How are you gonna feel about that? Let's say you're 20, you see someone you're below your age on Instagram, you were scrolling and you see a dude who's 19-year-old, made millions, doing whatever the fuck. Or there's like 16-year-old who's jacked as hell, probably on steroids. Doesn't matter though, your brain doesn't think that, And you're just like, oh man, I'm such a loser. I'm so behind in life. When in reality, you're just lost. You don't know what to do. You didn't have the opportunities as same as them. That little kid who was jacked as fuck, their dad and mother is probably a fucking bodybuilders. He was training since he was 5. The kid who was rich, he was probably rich from the beginning. His parents are rich, or at least their parents had connections. Even if they weren't rich, he probably got presented the opportunity that you didn't have, Exactly. Doesn't matter. As I was saying, your life path, as the other saying, is like everyone's life path is like, different. It's like everywhere else, not the exact same path. There's no such thing as that. Every person is different. So, you're just lost. You're not a loser. Believe that. Okay. Fifth point. Most people never choose. They just kind of drift away. They go to school, get a random job, a random partner, a random life. You are gifted this such a unique life that you can choose to do whatever the fuck you want, but you choose to just do random shit. People just never choose, you know? Like how it's like when there's too many options, they just never choose and feel behind. Fall behind, right? For like at school when you're feeling you feel like you're falling behind, it's almost the same. But like if you're not choosing for a longer amount of time, it's actually you're falling behind. So remember that. Just choose what you really want to do. Just not randomly. Choose decisively. Choose what benefits you. You know? I chose to leave school. I choose to get a job. Now I choose to do business. Now I'm doing sales, you know? Life is interesting. And every one of my choice had a point. Yeah, the reason behind it. Don't be a reasonless, meaningless, fucking random ass choice. Every choice you make, it matters. Believe that. And, you know, it's not evil that you're not choosing. You're just kind of unconscious. You don't know what you're doing. But like, I hope this video, if you're watching this, the two people who's gonna watch this, I hope it helps you. I hope it helps you. You're just unconscious. You know, you don't know what you're doing. But with this video, I hope you can do it. You know, because drifting feels safe, but you know, it creates a regret. You know, doing random things, feel like you made a choice, but did you really? Aren't you just like a feather in the wind, like the guy who runs? Who was it? I forgot. But at the start, it was like you're like the feather in the wind. You just go wherever the wind flows, which is great. But you know, don't make yourself regret. Right now, if I died of a heart attack, I wouldn't regret my life. By most people's standards, it was a shitty life. For me, it was a happy, lovely life. Friends I've made, the brother I've raised, an experience I had to go through, it was all worth it. And I'll say that with my right hand up here, on God's name. Just think about that. Let it digest. Let it sit. Okay. But now this might make you a little feel better. Because on the 6th point, we'll be talking about why being lost is actually the starting point. You know? There's a reason why everyone feels lost. Lost equals you're aware. You're aware that you're lost. You're aware that there's like, you know, you kind of have nothing to do, you know, you're like kind of aware, you know, it's like you're aware that you're falling behind, you're aware that you're lost, you're aware that you're kind of a loser. Awareness is the starting point, obviously, you know. The NPCs, the non-playable characters that are everywhere in this world, they don't feel lost. They just exist. I doubt they think. You know, there's people you talk to, they're just like, say the exact same shit. They have no original ideas. I don't even know how they exist. Like, it should be illegal. Not illegal. It should be impossible that they're living. But, you know, the society has gotten so soft to the point NPCs can exist. Well, it's fine, you know. Thanks to NPCs, we can enjoy our life a little better. But yeah, being lost means you're self-aware. At least you're lost. You know, at least you know that you were lost. It's better than the people who thinks they're okay, you know, they just don't think. They don't even think they are lost. They don't even think. They don't even think. You know? But the pain of confusion means that you're waking up. As long as you're waking up and you dwell on it, you take some actions on it, then you're good, you know? Do something. If you feel unhappy with school, leave school, get better at school. If you have a shitty job, change your job, leave job, make business, doesn't matter. If you're unhappy with your girlfriend, leave her or love her more, make her love you more. If you look shitty, just get better. Make decisions. That's the most important part, baby. Mwah. 7th point will be clarity comes from action, not thinking. So let's say you're at school, unhappy, no money, what to do, and then you get an idea. You just like think about it. Oh, I could do this. I could do that. That sounds good. Yeah, actually, yeah. Why not? Instead of doing all that, why not just do it? For me, before I left school, I thought of leaving school for like 2 years straight. Couldn't take action because I was too scared. I was too scared because I was young. I was scared of what my parents will say. I was scared to disappoint them. But after 2 years, finally, I've decided to leave school because my father got sick, and that decision really changed my life. Because I finally made a decision, didn't feel lost anymore. I looked cool with the glasses. That's why I put it back on. Because I made that decision, now I'm working. I'm supporting my family. My mother doesn't have to work as much. My brother is, well, he's my brother. He is the same, to be honest. But a little better food, I guess. I don't know. You know, and I feel respected in my house. My friends look up to me. There's people who I talk to, high network people. It's great. Like the connections I've made, the memories I've made, and the being able to help people because I've made this decision. It just melts my heart. I'm just happy from the people who are being happy. Like if my mother is happy, I'm happy by proxy, type shit. So yeah, clarity comes from action, not thinking. You have to think, and then do action. Preferably, don't even think, just take action. Because like you're at a young age, I'm sure if you're watching this, you're probably around my age. I'm 18 myself. Take risks. Do whatever the fuck you want. You have time. Just keep doing shit. Fuck around and find out. That's what I did. Fuck around and find out. You got this. I'm sure you do. You try things, hate some, like some. Doesn't matter. You don't think your way into purpose. You find your purpose by taking some action. Movement creates direction. Sitting creates anxiety. Well, that sounds so cool. Okay. Eighth point. Okay. This is just a bullet point because it's more so about something I'm not really experienced in, but from talking with lots of adults, here's what I found out. The reason I'm saying that, I'm gonna show you so easily, because eighth point was like, your 20s are for experimenting, not winning. I'm 18, I should know that, but I've talked to lots of adults. I talk with lots of adults. I talk with lots of high-profile people. I talk with my parents all the time. I talk with lots of people. And what's their usual response is that, if you're in your 20s, it doesn't matter. You're just like, you're like a character building arc. You're let's say you're in game and you're just like, leveling up. You're building your stat points. It doesn't matter what you put right now. As long as you get better, someday you can find, like how it's in the game. If you go into, like, let's say, roguelike game and go in, you don't know what kind of stats to put into your, things. So you like go randomly put your stats, and then after like playing a few times, you find out which stats works best for you, and then you start, making your build. Kind of like that. Your 20s is like that experimenting point, But like society, lies to you like you must be successful early, like the 19-year-old millionaires. But no, it's not really like that. The 20s are like just like, more of like fuck around and find out stage of life, and you'll learn skills from that. More like when you're fucking around, you just like randomly learn skills. I've learned lots of skills. I've learned sales. I've learned how to manage people. I've learned how to not manage people. I mean like how to manage my employees. I've learned how to talk with people greatly. I've if I'm talking about labor, I know how to ride a forklift at 18. I know how to manage a whole warehouse for some reason. I know how to send packages. I don't know. I just fucked around and find out a bunch of things. I could list more. I can't think of it right now. But yeah, at your 20s, it's just purely for experimenting, fucking around. Life is awesome, Don't be stressed. Like how the influencers say, the world is not gonna end in 10 years. Trust me, it's fine, In 10 years, it'll be the same. I mean, maybe worse, maybe good. If you dance, it ends. It just ended anyway. You're not gonna be that fucked in life after 10 years. You have time. Don't pressure yourself too much, but don't get complacent. Don't get lazy. I trust in you, you know. Only limited time you have is until you die. Until you die, you have time. Ninth point, point 9. You build yourself before you build your life. Just as why I didn't go into business, online business, those kind of things before I was younger, is because I believe money is kind of like a amplifier, you know. I heard this point from Andrew Tate. So what he talked about is that money is amplifier. If you're a douchebag and you get money, huge amount of money, you become a bigger douchebag. Money is like an amplifier of your own personality, I heard. And I really liked that idea, and yeah, I believed it, and it was actually true. Because back then I tried some business and I started getting so much money. Well, so much money for me is like 2K a month, is nothing, but because of that, I started to just become like such a bitch ass dude. Like, I didn't even know what I was doing. I was spending my money carelessly. I didn't even know what I was doing, and everyone hated me around me because like I was just become who the fuck I was, but just more. So I've decided to just discipline myself first, you know, and then mindset second, and then vision after I upgrade myself. So first, I just need to discipline myself, just working hard, actually building that consistency, and my brain and mind, and my mindset. More of like what I could do, how to act with people, how to talk with people, how to be kind, empathetic, those kind of like masculine traits and good traits that will make me a better person after I amplify myself with the money. So now I'm making more money. I have into sales. I make money through sales, and this YouTube videos could be a potential way of making money. We will see, because whatever the fuck, I'm just fucking around and finding out. So yeah, it's dangerous to have that much money when you're that young. So don't dwell on money too much. Build yourself up first. Experiment, find out who you really are, and then build your life with the money you get. You come first before the money. It's not hard to build yourself. You don't need money to build yourself. You just build yourself with the experience you get while you're fucking around. If you're doing nothing, you will never build yourself. Become this immature, dumbass. I can't say that word, can I? Just dumbass kid for the rest of your life. I know 40-year-olds who act like kids to this day. They still live with their parents. There's people like that in this world. 40, 50-year-olds who are dependent on their parents still to this day, and they act like a dumbass. There's people like that. So you definitely can do something. If you're watching this video, if you're willing to take some actions, if you're willing to do something, you'll be way better off than these people. And like those kind of people are way more than you think. Trust me. So first build yourself up and then upgrade your life. There we go. Upgrade your life. I heard it's better to end sentences with a low tone so it doesn't sound like I'm asking a question. I have to remember that. Okay. 10th point, which is the last point that we're talking about, is that the real danger is not being lost. It's more so like numbing yourself with the phone, the social media and stuff, and never thinking too deeply, which I said don't think before taking action, but like I mean like this time the thinking about more of like not like just don't think about this mundane stupid stuff. Just think like more deeply of what you really want to do and then take action. What you really need to do in life, what is most bothering you, reflect, write on paper, journal, get those thoughts out into real physical shit, and then you can take action. I'm sure you got this. You're pretty smart. And try everything. Don't be scared to try something scary. Scarier the better. It builds character. It becomes a dad lore. You have 10 babies. You have something to tell them. Imagine you have babies and you got no dad lore to tell. What a miserable existence is that. Couldn't be me. Maybe you. Couldn't be me though. Fuck you. But yeah, You know, I still love you though. I'm just 18-year-old dude who's speaking out his mind loud, you know? But yeah, if you feel lost right now, good. That means you're not asleep. Just don't stay still.